Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's January 14th, 2016. In the mainstream media, one of the major headlines today is this new video out of Chicago showing a police officer shoot a black teenager. This video is supposedly from January 7th, 2013, now more than 3 years ago. Last month, similar stories came out, the shooting of Laquan McDonald and Ronald Johnson, and those stories were from 2014. And now, more than a year's time, we have been getting a quickening of stories of police officers shooting black youth without cause. And all of these stories are part of a psychological operations to further divide the country over race. Yes, we live in a nation where police officers are trigger happy and black youth are treated unfairly by police officers from being shot to being arrested to the sentences they receive. This is not something I am ignoring. I know this is a very real situation. What I am trying to bring light to is the fact that our media is purposefully trying to rile us up, divide us, provoke us, get a reaction. This is all happening right now because we're in the time of the first black president, a president who agreed to be the president as part of the gigantic setup that it is. Most black Americans see today that Obama is no different than any white president who came before him. It's not even an argument that needs to be made. It's understood. But what is not understood is how these stories are purposeful propaganda provoking us. Just think about this. Last month, when the Ronald Johnson and Laquan McDonald shootings came out, at the same time, there was another type of shooting hoax in San Bernardino. They said that 3 white men had shot up a little community area, and then by day's end, it was a married Middle Eastern company had shot up their work party. Quite a change in story within a span of hours. All of those stories came out at the same time. The 2 stories in Chicago and the San Bernardino shooting. The riddle was this. The first ever McDonald's was opened in San Bernardino. Think about Ronald McDonald, as in Laquan McDonald and Ronald Johnson, the mascot for McDonald's. In 1984, there was a massacre at a San Ysidro McDonald's, supposedly. It happened on July 18th, written in most parts of the world 18/7, a lot like 187, the police code for homicide in California. That shooting came 187 days after the death of Lee Kroc, the man who made McDonald's the mega corporation that it is. And McDonald's headquarters is just outside of Chicago, having a location with a 187 gematria. No coincidence. These corporations, these news, they're all essentially fronts for an agenda, a power center that wants to rule over us and control us with poisonous news and poisonous food and steal our wealth and deceive us all the while. Let's watch this news footage of the shooting hoax, then we'll break it down. I'll show you what a joke it is and how it's part of a race war. If you can make this out, notice that this video down here is 58 seconds long. The word Freemasonry equals 58. It is the Freemasons who control our media, who control our politicians, and who rule with these riddles. The Freemasons believe in dividing and conquering. And this is what they do with their news every day. Divide over race, religion. That's what the San Bernardino thing was. Reinforce in ignorant people's minds that Islamic people are dangerous. Just like how the news likes to reinforce in ignorant people's minds that black people are dangerous. Divide and conquer.
Do you see that, officer? A part of this we don't quite see because the framing of that shot changes. But you do see the shooting police officer, and he is with his gun drawn, following Chatman. And then you see that officer at the intersection, and then once the angle of that camera.
And then once the angle of that camera changes, then you see the body going down on the ground. I mean, they treat us like we're idiots, Truth Seeker, pulling a story out of 2013, video tricks like this. This stuff really happens, but when they put it on the news, it's just part of their agenda. And it's obviously contrived. Just look at it. Undeniable.
Changes, you do see Chatman on the ground and the other police officer with his foot on top of his body. Now, we got to tell the officer side of the story.
And talk about part of the PSYOP, truth seeker. A shot person and the officer comes and stands on him. You know, the people who don't realize the news is fake, the people who've lived in this country and put up with the racial oppression, this is just like killing them inside. It's painful. But they need to wake up. And they need to recognize what's really being done. And then they need to help me and other people who are speaking out do something about it. More to come on that at the end.
Here, of course, Pamela, these officers have said that they feel feared for their lives, that they felt that Chatman turned around and that, they were in fear for their life, and that he had a black object. Now, that black object was an iPhone box, and there was no weapon ever recovered on this.
That's likely just a plug for Apple products. Not only are these sick, divisive, racial, psychological operations, they also plug their corporate products.
Seen other than, of course, that iPhone box that
Two
was
times.
that Chatman was holding and that was recovered later on the scene.
Paid liars on TV. So anyhow, let's go through and break this down. The story comes out today, right? January 14th, 2016. That's a date with 51 numerology. The word conspiracy equals 51. It's also a number that connects to Michael Brown, the first one of these police officer shooting stories that really got the real public outrage, at least covered in the media. As you can recall, the manufactured riots in Ferguson that CNN was there to cover and help, promote, essentially. That name Michael has gematria 51, just like the word conspiracy. Point out that Chicago has gematria of sacrifice. And, if teenagers really are being shot purposefully by police for this agenda, this might be part of the reason Chicago's chosen as the city to do it in. There's a lot of sick people in the police department. I wouldn't say it's entirely impossible that police officers truly are killing black youth for agenda, Police officers aren't very good people. I don't think that's what's going on, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyhow, this one is definitely a hoax. Notice the name, Cedrick Chatman. This is the victim, 17 years old. CC, the third letter, CC33, 33, a number that gets coded into all of these psychological operations, especially in the race war. Notice that race war has gematria of 33. If you watch this and want to know how to gematria, just search just like this, how to gematria in your YouTube bar. I got 2 videos that'll pop up. You can watch either one. You'll have the skill in no time. Michael, as in Michael Brown's a name with 33 gematria. So does the word police. And remember, 33 is the number of obsession for the Freemasons who believe in conquering through dividing and have ruled over this world for hundreds of years with these tactics. That's why they're so well coded into our language. The name Cedrick has gematria of 35 and 44, 44 the kill number. Malcolm X died on a date with a 44 life lesson number. His assassin got 44 years in prison. His assassin had name gematria of 44. Martin Luther King Jr. shot on 4/4, April 4th. No coincidence, the word kill equals 44. The name Cedrick Chatman in gematria sums to 59 and 68. Think about how MLK was shot in 68 on 4/4. Anyhow, 59 is a number stamped on black people. Cedrick Chatman equals 59, Negro equals 59, Slave equals 59, Blues equals 59, Motown came out in 59, Rasta equals 59, Cracker equals 59. Kill in Jewish gematria equals 59, and simple English gematria, kill equals 44. The small way, kill equals 17. He was 17 years old, shot on 1/7, January 7th, 2013. 2013 is a year with numerology of 33, like race war. With regards to this story coming out January 14th, it being about Chicago, it also reminds me about Obama, the 44th president. Obama gave his acceptance speech to become the 44th president November 4th, 2008, in Grant Park, 44 years after the death of MLK. Or, excuse me, after the Civil Rights Act of 64. Apologies. Civil rights equals 64. Civil Rights Act in 64. Barack Hussein Obama equals 64. Anyhow, Obama's the 44th president, but he's really the 43rd man to be president. This is because Grover Cleveland was counted as two presidents, the 22nd and 24th, because he had a split term. So only 43 men have been president. Obama's the 43rd. Grant Park has gematria of 43. The day he gave his acceptance speech has numerology of 43. When you write out 43, it sums to 59. The number stamped on black people. Think about the first black president being the 43rd and having this connection to 59. 43rd man to be president, number connected to 59 as well. First black president. In history, important numbers in the Civil War, which had a lot to do with race. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43, where the Civil War began. If you haven't seen my videos on Freddie Gray, I showed how they synced it up perfectly with the Civil War. Another hoax story by the numbers, syncing up with the Civil War. Massacre equals 43. They said the Civil War was a massacre. Lincoln born on the 43rd day. Abraham, a name with 44 gematria, the first president to be assassinated in the history books. They say this one starts on the sidewalk. So often these people are shot in the middle of the street. Could be a coincidence, but I just noticed the emphasis on sidewalk in the story. Sidewalk has gematria of 84. Obama equals 84. His birthday's August 4th. I think this story is coded out as more foreshadowing for what's to come for number 44, which I believe will be the head of this racial agenda of shootings. It will end with shooting the first black president, likely blamed on a white person, to continue the divide, to continue the division, to continue the tension. The police officer's name is Lou Toth, who shot him in the video. Gematria of 111 and an English gematria 666. Notice that the word officer has gematria of 44, the kill number, and O, F, and F all break down to 666. O is the 15th letter, 1 plus 5 becomes 6. F is the 6th letter, F is the 6th. Lou Toth, the 666 officer, shoots the black teenager in the back for the PSYOP. Likely a contrived name for the story. The article says that they were in hot pursuit. Look how they emphasize that. The video shows Officer Lou Toth in hot pursuit of Chapman on a sidewalk. Hot pursuit has gematria of 59, Truth Seeker, like Negro and Kill. What you're looking at here is a picture of Darren Wilson, the officer who shot Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. Both Ferguson and Missouri equal 42. So does the word nigger. And remember, blues equals 59. This is the officer who shot Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. This is part of a racist subliminal message. It says nigger, killer. And that's what they're doing with all these stories again and again. Talk about the O.J. Simpson trial in a minute. Notice the word nigger, the gematria, True Seeker, and the 14th letter breaks down to 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. I is the 9th letter. It has a 5-9 coding within it. G is the 7th letter. Then E5. Then R is the 18th. 1 plus 8 becomes 9. Double 59 coding with a 42. 59 and 42. Blues equals 59. The officer that was the partner of Lou Toth in this shooting from 2013, Kevin Fry, interesting name. Name with 47 gematria. Maybe you missed this story earlier this year. Story that caused controversy in Chicago on 47th Street, East 47th Street. They had a Michael Brown exhibit. Look at this, Truth Seeker. This is the exhibit at East 47th Street. This was a national news story, this art exhibit.